Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. And yes, folks, much like The Dark Knight, I have returned. I do apologize. I know I said I was going to be doing more podcasts, but these last couple weeks have been a little out of the ordinary. I feel like last night to today, I'm finally getting back into the swing of my regular routine. And of course, of all weeks to do this, it would be the week of San Diego Comic-Con. And before that, we had D23. So there's a lot to talk about, guys. I'm going to go through, talk about a couple subjects today. Hopefully, I can do another podcast tomorrow. Lisa will join me for some other news. But there's a lot going on. I'm sure we're going to spend the majority of next week talking about all the stuff that's talked about at San Diego Comic-Con. We're going to try to get to it all. But since Lisa's not with me today, I'm going to go over some stuff that she might not exactly be an expert on. Also want to apologize a little in advance. I'm technically, I guess you say, experimenting with different sounds and locations and microphones, basically trying to get a better sound out of the podcast, make it a little more clear, a little more crisp. Experimenting, definitely, with quite a few things. I'm going to be doing that probably for the next week or so, so you might hear a different change in the way the audio is. You let me know what seems better, and I'll try to figure out, the best way to give you the best quality podcast that I can, as I always strive to do. So, without further ado, like I said, this weekend is San Diego Comic-Con. A lot of news coming at you. Saturday, we're expecting some big stuff from the Marvel and DC panels, maybe even a new Justice League trailer, first look at Aquaman, maybe even some Infinity War footage. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But right now, we're not talking about that. Right now, we're going to talk cartoons. More specifically, awesome cartoons. So yesterday, Netflix and DreamWorks Animation released a new trailer for their upcoming third season of Voltron, Legendary Defender. So when we last left off, into season 2, Shiro had disappeared, and the Black Lion had nobody to pilot, and then King Zarkon was injured from his battle with Voltron, and he brought in Prince Lotor. So, as I've said before, I am a pretty big Voltron fan. I love this series. I was a fan of the original Voltron Defender of the Universe when I was a kid during the 80s. It was one of my favorite cartoons. When I heard about this new series, Legendary Defender, they were remaking it, I was a little excited. But after seeing it, I'm super excited. The first 2 seasons have been phenomenal. I love what they're doing with the show, and I can't wait for season 3. So it comes back on August 4th, and it's only going to be actually 7 episodes rather than the normal 13 that they had in the first 2 seasons. But they're going to have a season 4 following in October. So we don't have to wait that long for more episodes, so that'll be awesome. But in this trailer, as somber music is kind of playing, as we see footage of the rise of Prince Lotor, who is the son of Zarkon. He's raising his sword and assembling the troops to take on the Voltron Force, aka the Paladins. And he does put that little quote in there, no Black Lion, no Voltron. So he knows that Shiro is gone as well. Where he's gone, we don't know. And of course, we're seeing the Paladins kind of facing the fact that they have to find someone to replace Shiro if they ever want to form Voltron and start defending the universe again and keep the peace that they've worked so hard for. And then, of course, in this trailer, we see at the very end, the Black Lion is piloting up. We don't know who it is. This is the part where I give you my guesses. Ready, set, here we go. So, in the original series, Voltron, Defender of the Universe, it was actually Keith who piloted the Black Lion. So, the fact that they built a lot of season 2, building Keith up as far as his ancestral history, and there was that first episode in season 2 where Shiro was injured, and he said that if he dies, he wanted Keith to take over as leader of Voltron Force. So for me, I think Keith might be the leading candidate to take over the Black Lion. Now, another person that could do it is, I think, Allura. In the original series, again, Defender of the Universe, Allura actually became a member of the Voltron Force, or a lion pilot, so to speak, when the other gentleman, what's his name, Sven, when Sven was injured by the witch Hagar, he couldn't pilot the line anymore, so the princess took over his line, and then she became a regular member of the Voltron Force. That's probably where I think they're going to go with it, I'm guessing, where Keith will take over the black line, and then the princess will step in as maybe the red line. But again, going back to the original series, Keith piloted the black lion, um, Allura piloted the blue lion, and Lance took over as the red lion. So whether they're going to go with that original setup. I don't know. I don't know. But I have a feeling that Allure is going to step in as that fifth member, just because it's part of the lore, and that I think is really what it's going to, come down to. But overall, I remember watching season 2, and I was thinking to myself, where's Prince Lothar? I wonder if they're going to bring him in. And of course, at the end of season 2, I flipped out when they mentioned him. I was so excited. Lothar in the original series was also kind of obsessed with Allura as well, wanting to marry her. So I'm curious if they're going to bring that in there. I think he's definitely going to be a foe that is going to test the team, especially in this hour of kind of need or dire straits that they're in. But this series has just been phenomenal. Some of the best sci-fi storytelling that I've seen on TV, and I'm just excited to see where they go with it. Again, as an old school Voltron fan, I'm just super excited. I am a little disappointed. I will tell you though, I'm a little disappointed we haven't gotten a Voltron live action film yet. The Power Rangers film came out back in March, and all I could think was, gosh, I wish this was Voltron. And then, of course, going back to Pacific Rim when that was out, and all I could think about was how awesome a live action Voltron movie would be. But we'll see where we get it. Either way, this animated series definitely is awesome. It's from the guys, or the creative team that did Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that quality of storytelling that from the animated series definitely carries over to this animated series. I'm loving what they're doing, and I cannot wait to see what they do next. Alright, so the next animated series I want to talk about is another one I am super excited about. Young Justice Outsiders had their panel today at San Diego Comic-Con, and we got our first look at the cast. This one, I gotta admit, I was a little late to the Young Justice. I mean, when the first season aired, I kind of hopped on about midway, and I saw it through. Season 2 was even better, but the problem was they canceled the show, which was a major bummer. Didn't like it at all. But luckily, through fan support and a lot of Netflix views, it was able to come back and get another season for Young Justice Outsiders. Looks like they're planning 26 episodes, and it's going to premiere actually on the DC Comics branded streaming platform. So might have to break down and buy that. I don't know how much it's going to be, but I'm super excited. Young Justice, if you haven't checked it out, one of my favorite superhero animated series. Put it right up there with Batman animated series, Justice League animated series, X-Men animated series. It's good stuff. Great characters, great storytelling. I'm just super excited. So at the panel today, they were talking, showing us, giving a glimpse of the characters. We saw a couple new characters, such as Spoiler. Yes, the Batman character Spoiler is going to be in it, as well as a new character called 13, who's better known in the comics as Tracy 13. So in DC canon, she actually has like urban magical abilities that she inherited from her mother, where she has the knowledge and power of cities, allows her to view and track people's auras, fires mystical blasts, generates protective force fields, and takes possession of somebody's body for a limited time. Sounds pretty cool. I'm not familiar with that character as I am some of the other characters, but given how the creative team of Greg Weisman and the other producers have treated every other character that's coming to the show, I'm excited to see what they do with this character. Now, we did get a glimpse of the original team members. That's right, Aqualad, Nightwing, Artemis, and Superboy. I don't know where Miss Martian was, but the picture I saw online just had the four of them. They're all dressed in black, actually. And Aqualad kind of looks the most different. The fact that he no longer has the blonde hair, and he's got a beard. So, straight on, just, embracing it. They're dressed in black. I guess it has to do a lot with their stealthy activity that they're going to be doing in the series. According to the, pseudo plot details of what this next season is going to be, the Outsiders will find the teen heroes facing their greatest challenge as they fight metahuman trafficking and the terrifying threat it creates for a society caught in the crossfires of genetic arms race spanning the globe and the galaxy. That does not sound like a kids show, guys. That sounds like a very sophisticated show that I think is going to be very interesting to watch. I want to see the characters grow, especially that initial um, team, of Superboy, Artemis. Again, I want to see where Miss Martian is, see what happened to her. This is going to leap in time, much like season one left 5 years to go to season two. I think it's going to leap maybe another 5 years, or at least a couple of years. But I'm also kind of anxious to see some of the minor characters that we got from season two, like Beast Boy, Blue Beetle was a heavy character they featured, but also the new Robin, Tim Drake, and then Wonder Girl. They were in there, but they weren't kind of took a backseat to the main characters, which I'm fine with. I like the original characters, Nightwing, Artemis, and stuff like that. Um, but I want them to see more in the spotlight too. Either way, I think it's going to be very. I'm just super excited the show's back. I'm super excited. If you have not seen Young Justice, oh my God, you need to get on it right now. It's a great series, especially if you're a superhero comic book fan. Definitely get on it. It's great. But yeah, so that's it, guys. Just a couple things to let you know what's coming out of Comic-Con. Again, hopefully I'm going to hop on here tomorrow with Lisa and do another little tidbit and let you know a few more things that's going on. But I'm sure there's plenty of news that's going on. There's also stuff that happened last week. I'll see if I can get to it. At one point, of course, the new Lady Doctor Who was announced last week. I'll see if I can get Lourdes here, sit down with me this next week, give me her thoughts on that. And then, of course, all the other D23 stuff that went on as well. We'll see what we can do about that. But this is where you guys fire back and let me know. Are you excited for Voltron and Young Justice as much as I am? Hopefully you are. Hopefully you've seen these shows, know how awesome they are, and are going to get on it. Hit me back, dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Also find us on the Facebook group and on Twitter. You can find me personally on Twitter and Instagram, SlimDayspring12. And that's going to be it, guys. So, until next time, may the Force be with us all.